So this was an announcement, and we comment on YouTube news from time to time. It's interesting. Sometimes we get a lot of flack for it.
Yeah, we do.
But I don't think we care that much about the flack.
No, I have nothing to lose.
I do, but who cares? So YouTube is getting, I guess, into creating and producing movies and TV series with their quote-unquote popular creators.
Okay.
Me and Ian have not been asked it, by the way. So
you haven't.
So basically, the trend the past, I'd say 3 years has been, Hulu, Netflix, even Amazon Prime to start wanting to get into producing their own series. And I guess YouTube wants to follow suit. But they want to use YouTube creators. So we're talking...
Fine Brothers.
Vloggers that are huge. I don't know anything about, but vloggers are usually the biggest people on YouTube. Besides,
they announced like 4 large names: the Fine Brothers,
Smosh, who are big. I do know who Smosh. A prank show from Prank versus Prank, which I haven't heard of.
No.
And then they want to do a murder mystery reality series. So far,
that doesn't even make sense to me.
So far, the only mainstream exposure from any YouTube person has been Fred. We had a couple of Fred movies on Nickelodeon. I think John Cena played his dad in one of them, which is actually fun to think about. So Fred was this guy who pretended to be a little kid, changed his voice, and then after 5 years, he was a lot older. So, that was the most quote unquote success someone from YouTube has crossing over into Hollywood or the mainstream. It's interesting that YouTube wants to create their own movies or own sort of cinematic universe, just because there's no reason to do it. It's a different medium, YouTube. It doesn't exist for TV sort of episodic content. It doesn't exist for movie content. That sort of stuff hasn't ever done well on YouTube and hasn't ever resided solely on YouTube. So what is YouTube really looking to do here? That's the question that I don't have an answer to right now until I see what one of these are. Is it to get more mains? Is their attempt to break through and to make connections in Hollywood to say, hey, we can have these people be in movies? Then what does YouTube get out of that?
This is how I read it.
Okay.
One, whether it's going to succeed or not, I can understand YouTube wanting to make or to try to mimic this Netflix model. Why? Because it's working for Netflix. You rely less on ad. I mean, you
It's a draw for Netflix. Get people for subscribers. But
yes.
YouTube doesn't have any subscribers, though.
No. But
they might want to.
But the thing that I think that they're trying to, because they mention it in one of the articles, YouTubers are not really bound to YouTube. They can go and do whatever they want. They can, and some of these people, if they get more popular on YouTube and they leave, they may not return to YouTube. They may not generate the revenue for YouTube that they once did. So by contracting these people in to do a show, a TV show, a movie that is branded by YouTube, YouTube is keeping their biggest assets close to them.
That makes sense if there was competition to take this talent from them.
Well, some of them doing the movies and things like that. I mean, I don't pay enough attention to YouTube. I'm literally taking some of these articles at face value. Sure,
but that's why it's meant though. I meant that there's no breakout stars. There really hasn't been any breakout stars at this point. It's not like a big YouTube star has gone off and been in a Marvel movie or even a romantic comedy. It hasn't happened.
Okay, sure, that's fine. I see
so the scripted comedy series from the Fine Brothers is going to take a quote-unquote satirical look at singing competition shows and will be produced in partnership with Manville Films. So, okay. The problem there is just that they're going to be doing a scripted comedy series. That's not the videos they are known for.
Yes.
That's the problem. Not saying they can't be successful doing that. That's not what people know them for. So whether or not they're going to gravitate towards that project because that's not something they're familiar with, let alone the fact that maybe they don't have the chops to do it. It's a weird sort of thing to hire. That's like hiring me and you and saying, okay, you guys do a
nature doc.
You do a decent podcast. Let's see you do a nature documentary. And it's just like, what?
What they're doing is they're saying, hey, you're popular and you're good at what you do, so we want you to do this other thing because you're good at stuff. I mean, literally, that's basically what they're saying. But a lot of these people got popular because they were very good at one thing. That's why they're on YouTube.
And put out a lot of content and got Google support and whatever else from a network. That's fine. The Prank versus Prank will create a series of ambitious pranks, I guess, like bloopers or practical jokes with some celebrity guests. I'm not sure what that means. I can't picture it being mainstream celebrities, I guess, quote-unquote YouTube celebrities. So be prepared to see Ego Raptor get pranked on or something. I don't know.
Good.
Graceffa will, not sure what that is, will create a murder mystery reality series featuring a cast of other YouTube stars. This sounds awful.
I don't
This
even.
sounds
But I don't,
horrific.
I don't even. I mean, I read that a bunch of times, and I don't know what a murder mystery reality series
With
is.
YouTube stars.
Just the first part.
Put them in a house, and you're going to build it around them and see the reactions. And then Smosh is going to do create a movie with AwesomenessTV. Will set their comedy series in a theme restaurant bedeviled by out-of-control kids and crazy parents.
Wacky.
Woo! Okay. The problem with all this is this.
It sounds like shit.
Even if this shit is low budget,
Yeah.
you got to make that budget back. So
Yes.
let's just say the lowest budget of one of these shows. We covered the debacle of the Game Jam and how that cost. That was a 6 figures down the drain last year for players. If you do a scripted comedy series or a prank versus prank, and you're going to have crews and post-production, you're going to get people involved. These aren't going to be cheap shows. So you have to at least break even on these via YouTube views. YouTube views, me and Ian aren't raking in the big bucks here, folks. So for say one of these costs $100,000.
Yeah.
In order to make back that $100,000,
That's a lot.
we're talking, a billion views to make back $100,000 on YouTube, or at least hundreds of millions. It's not happening. It's just on one video, even a series, it may not happen. It's just not going to happen. So then again, what is this doing? Is this a loss leader? Is this something maybe for the subscription service that they're going to roll out? Like I said, I brought up the possibility that maybe you're going to have premium content that only subscribers get. You're still not going to break even.
No.
I think it's a loss leader made to experiment at that. And a loss leader, for those in the know, is something that is going to lose money, but it gets people in the door. It's like the way I best describe it is when a supermarket puts food on for sale for
That's where the
cents.
term comes from. Yeah.
The bread and milk still cost a ton of money, and that's what they're making their money on. That's where this expression comes from.
I could put out a popular game for $5, $3 less, take a $3 hit on it to get people in the door who are still going to buy the other stuff that's marked up appropriately.
Or buy the DLC that's associated. Exactly. That's what a loss leader is. So we'll see what happens. It's just strange to say, oh, you're a YouTube star. It's going to mean you can do a reality show or do a movie or do a comedy show. It's just really strange.
My problem is a lot of these people live in this bubble where they honestly believe their own celebrity. And I think that's a problem because you get these ideas in your head and they're just not going to pan out the way you want them to.
Not just that. Just because you're a vlogger doesn't mean you can act.
Right.
It doesn't mean... Just because you do a Kids React or Elders React series doesn't mean you can script comedy or shoot comedy.
No,
or
I think
direct comedy.
I think that shows, quite frankly, that you can't do comedy at all.
Well, it's a wait and see thing. Let's see if you can do it first.